Many times I have asked my students to define renewable energy. Here is their first response: the energy that is renewed. My counter question to them is: tell me about any energy source which is not renewed. Their second response is: energy sources which are vast and will never finish. My suggestion to them is to think again, as even sun will die one day. If your reply to these questions is along these lines, then this video is for you. In addition to defining renewable energy sources, we will also discuss different classifications of energy sources and forms of energy. We'll be talking about conventional and non-conventional energy sources. Do you know whether all renewable energy sources are green energy sources? Why do we classify energy sources as primary and secondary energy sources? In the end, we'll discuss commercial and non-commercial energies. Let us first see various sources and forms of energy, and then we can define renewable energy. So let us start with the most common and most exploited natural resource of energy, fossil fuels, which refer to coal, crude oil and natural gas. These are chemical forms of energy. This chemical energy is transformed into another energy forms such as thermal energy. Thermal energy is converted to mechanical energy, and then we can convert it into electricity. Currently, most of the world's electricity needs are met through this route, that is chemical, thermal, mechanical and then electrical. End users consume all these types of energy, that is thermal energy, mechanical energy or electricity. These fulfill various needs like domestic, transportation, industrial, agriculture and commercial. Who are the end users? Of course, we are. We require all three forms of energy. For example, we use thermal energy for cooking, mechanical energy for transportation, and electricity for domestic appliances. With growing energy demand, we are looking for more and more sources for all forms of energy. For example, we can use biomass as a fuel, which is chemical form of energy. Photosynthesis daily generates new biomass, which is possible because of photons from the sun. The sun can directly give us heat, which is thermal energy, or we can indirectly take heat from the oceans, which receives thermal energy from the sun. Also, we can get heat from inside the earth, which is a geothermal source. Controlled fission and fusion are types of nuclear energy that can provide thermal energy. Currently, the available nuclear energy is from fission only, but efforts are going on for fusion-based plants also. Nuclear reactions are done on radioactive chemical elements to produce nuclear energy. Nuclear reaction can change chemical nature of an element which no chemical reaction can. Wind, hydro and waves can provide direct mechanical energy which can be converted to electricity. The second major source of world's electricity needs is met through this route: mechanical and then electrical. The main source of wind, hydro and waves is sun, and for tidal energy it is sun and moon. We can get electricity directly by bypassing the usual route of thermal, mechanical and electrical through photovoltaics. Solar photovoltaic is one of the fastest growing route now. Also, fuel cells, for example hydrogen fuel cells, can be created from chemicals which can give electricity directly. Let us now deal with the question, what is renewable energy? Let us see the time taken for renewal of different energy sources. We all know it takes millions of years for nature to produce fossil fuels. Why will nature stop making fossil fuel? It is getting renewed even now. So why is it not classified as renewable? This is because our consumption rate of fossil fuels is much higher than that of production rate. So these will not last if we continue our present consumption rate. As compared to millions of years for fossil fuels, biomass takes decades to renew. Hydropower takes weeks, wind may take only a few hours, whereas direct solar in the form of heat may take minutes, and photovoltaics only take seconds to get renewed. All these are renewable sources of energy, and those that do not replenish quickly are non-renewable. So now we can define renewable energy. These are the sources that replenish themselves over short periods and do not diminish. How do we define this short period? Well, a human lifetime. Other classifications are conventional and non-conventional energy sources. Conventional sources are those which we have been using traditionally over a long period. These include fossil fuels and nuclear energy. The first nuclear power plant based on fission was built in 1951, so we can treat it as conventional energy. Renewable energy sources are part of non-conventional energy sources and have become synonymous. Large hydropower, municipal solid waste, wind, solar, biomass, geothermal, biogas and small hydropowers are examples. Notice here we have kept large hydropower and small hydropower separate. This is because some renewable energy technologies can have impact on the environment. For example, in large hydroelectric projects, a large area of land gets submerged, which may destroy some species. Also, fisheries are affected by this. Fish which can travel upstream in the absence of dam can no longer do so because of construction of dam. So green energy, which is part of renewable energy, exclude energies like large hydropower and municipal solid waste. Out of the three, green energy is most beneficial as it has less impact on the environment. Can you think of non-conventional and non-renewable energy source? One of the options in this category can be nuclear energy, which is not part of conventional energy. For example, fusion-based nuclear energy. The first fusion reactor is yet to be commercialized. When you want to quantify energy sources, you want to make sure that no energy source is counted twice and that we have realistic data. So, energy sources are classified as primary and secondary energy sources for the purpose of statistics. Primary energy includes all sources that are available without any transformation. If any transformation is done on primary energy sources, for example, converting crude oil into petroleum products or coal into electricity or heat, biomass into biofuels, and so on, this comes under secondary energy. This energy can be used for end users like us. Part of this secondary energy can also be transformed into electricity and heat. Another classification is based on whether the sources are available in a market for a price. These are called commercial energy sources, for example, coal, petrol, diesel, LPG, etc. Sources which you cannot buy from the market are non-commercial energy sources like firewood, which is not available in the market and is traditionally collected by rural households. So let's summarize. In this video, we have talked about common misconceptions about renewable energy and defined renewable energy sources as those sources that replenish themselves over short periods and do not diminish, typically within a human lifetime. Then we explored various energy sources and forms and routes for electricity production. The classification of energy sources into conventional, non-conventional, and green energy was done. We highlighted the environmental impacts of some of the renewable energy technologies such as large hydroelectric projects. Then we discussed the classification of energy sources into primary and secondary energy for statistical purpose. Finally, we distinguished between commercial and non-commercial energies. Do ask your questions in the comments. I'll try to answer to the best of my abilities. Thank you very much.